Issue number 8 of the Power Rangers comic by Boom Studios begins aboard the Spectrum 2. Drakon knows that the Hartunians aren't conquerors, they're scavengers. He's looking forward to seeing how the Hartunians react when they get invaded for a change. And on that note, an Empyreal descends towards the planet. Now, at the end of the last issue, we saw the Empress save the Rangers from being executed, basically. It turns out that the Empress really doesn't like the Emperor. She was chosen by the nobles to marry the Emperor in a bid to change his ways. She obviously failed. She puts on an act around him when she's in fact trying to save her people from the Emperor. Where the Emperor ignored the Rangers' help, the Empress begs the Rangers to save her people. Outside the castle, the Empyreal gets to work. He begins to destroy Hartunia. However, Trini and Jason summon their Zords to try and stop the Empyreal. Zack is with the Hartunian refugees the Empress was trying to save. Unfortunately, the castle's composition prevents teleportation, so the Rangers need Spectrum 2 to land close to the castle while the Zords do battle with the Empyreal. It's not easy for the Empress and the refugees to escape. The Emperor's guards see them trying to escape and tries to prevent them from leaving. The Empyreal at Hartunia acts much like the Empyreal we saw previously. Hartunia wasted its chance, and so the Empyreal is here to reset it under the orders of the Master. After knocking down Jason and Trini's Zords, the Empyreal approaches the castle and begins to destroy it. The Emperor knows there's no way he can win this one. Inside the castle, Zack and the Empress fight off the guards. Time's ticking though, so the Empress tells Zack to get her people off the planet. Her plan is to remain behind and catch up with him later. She says the guards won't harm her, which will buy Zack the time he needs. Jason and Trini's Zords are back on their feet, and they go back into battle against the Empyreal. Both Zords combine forces and carry out a joint attack on the Empyreal, unleashing the Omega Energy Vortex. As a result of that move, the Zords' energy levels drop, but unfortunately, the Empyreal lives. Zack manages to get the refugees aboard the Spectrum 2, and C wants to leave immediately. However, Zack refuses to leave as the Empress isn't there yet. C convinces him they need to leave as the Empress wanted Zack to save her people. As they take off, Zack sees the Emperor among the trees and leaves them to die. Drakon asks if they were seeing things, but Zack says he didn't see anyone. As the Spectrum 2 leaves, Jason and Trini's Zords abandon the fight and make their escape. The Empyreal then carries out its finishing move. He destroys Hartunia, taking out the Emperor, his guards, and finally, we see the Empress get killed too. With the refugees safe, the Spectrum 2 will take them to safe haven. Zack is upset that they only managed to save 37 people, and that the Empress failed to escape. Drakon goes on to offer Jason some advice. The Rangers know how to track the Empyreal. Drakon says perhaps it's time to seek out the one thing left in the universe that knows how to kill them. And now we see the Empyreal communicating with his master following the destruction of Hartunia. And this issue comes to a surprising end when we discover that the mastermind behind all of these recent attacks is none other than a guardian from Eltar, Zartus. So, he's the big bad guy of the series. I've said before that my favourite aspect of the Mighty Morphin comics is basically Zordon's backstory. It's starting to make sense why we're seeing those now. Zartus turned evil eventually. Is it because Zordon became Chief Guardian instead of Zartus? Or does it have something to do with the Zeo Crystal? Seeing the revelation here also means that Zartus' involvement with Zordon in the present is also a bit of a con. Just what is he up to? Finally, I want to quickly say that I enjoyed seeing Zack leave the Emperor to die on the planet. The way I saw it, he was a bad guy, leave him for dead. That moment was just really cool to see. Probably a controversial moment, with some saying that it's not very Ranger-like. However, I really liked it. It's not like Zack had a choice, but also it gives Zack's character even more of an edge.